This week on Not Sauce for Work, Terry Tam is co-hosting. Eagle is producing. We discuss the NFL Conference Finals. That's right, there's only 3 more football games left this season. We also talk about 2 basketball superstars who may be on the move, the biggest stars left out of Cooperstown, and Olympic-sized condoms. We will get into these topics and much more on this episode of Not Sauce for Work on the Hot Sauce Sports Podcast Network. Welcome everyone. You were listening to it, perhaps watching Not Sauce Work on the Hot Sauce Sports Podcast Network. The sign of confusion you saw from Terry, if you're watching, is because Eagle, we didn't hear the music, so we're hoping that the people did.
They hear the music. I now realize what I did.
You know what also is better is Eagle. I can actually see you this week. I don't know why. Usually I just see what you show the people, but I can actually see you this week, and it's better. No. Change it.
No, but see, this is the only way for you to hear the music now.
Okay. So I'm okay with not hearing the music then. But then when we play clip and stuff,
that's the problem, yeah.
All right. So I guess keep it like this.
Sorry, not sorry.
I saw a movie around Christmas break. It's the most streamed movie on Netflix's history. I thought I was really going to enjoy it. I'm curious about if you guys have seen it and if you guys have thoughts. I kind of left with like a meh feeling. The movie is Adam McKay's Don't Look Up.
I haven't watched it yet.
I've watched it.
It's got, so we won't spoil anything for Terry. I mean, look, there's no spoilers. The Earth is fucked. But it's been, the reaction's been really polarizing. My thing is, with regards to getting his message across, I think it's effective. It's a movie, Terry, just because you haven't seen it yet, it's a movie that parallels the government in action and corporation in action against global warming. But instead of global warming, it's about like if a meteor was about to strike Earth.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
And the solution
is
is
how media doesn't talk about it enough, and
well, it's how media can be corrupted, how politics can be corrupted, how corporations corrupt, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
How they are.
Like, there's this one scene, I'm gonna spoil this one, where they're talking to like the U.S. government, and it was like, so what are the chances of getting hit by it? It's like 100%. We're like, well, no, scientists don't like 100%. What's the actual probability? 99.58. We're like, okay, like let's say 70%. I was like, no, those are clearly not the same.
And so, but
I wish people graded my grades in university that way. Hey, you got a 40. Yeah, give me 90. Give me a 90.
But again, it could also go the other way. I got a 90. Yeah, 40-ish.
20.
And to be fair, Terry, you and I both studied history. It does feel that is how they grade. To be fair.
Oh yeah, it's 100%. You're grading. You're writing a paper. You're writing on the teacher's opinion. You're not writing about your opinion. You're not writing about the actual fact. You're writing about how the teacher portrayed this piece of history. So if you fuck that up, then you're fucked.
Yeah. I studied something after that was much more concrete, and I realized, all I have to do is give the right answers and I get a good grade. This is awesome. Why didn't I do this in the first place?
So when I applied to universities, I wanted to go to like Ontario. You know, I wanted to leave, and my parents my mom couldn't afford it at the time. So I said, fuck it, I'll stay here, because I was done playing football at that time. I had played 1 year of junior. I knew I wasn't going to go to university and play football. I wasn't good enough, so I said, fuck it, I'm just going to leave. And then I wanted to go to Queens to go to the broadcasting program that Shtib is in, and I think our new member Olivia is in as well. I didn't confirm that, but I wanted to go there, but my mom couldn't afford it, so I said I'll stay here. So I applied to journalism, second choice history, third choice English literature. I got into English lit. History, I didn't get into journalism. So I think I would have been better off in English lit.
I got into journalism and transferred into history.
Asshole. Mokan did journalism, Botkins journalism, Powers journalism, former Luca and Dean Bertoy, I think, but they both did journalism as well.
They both did journalism also, yeah.
So I mean,
no, so the thing is, this movie, Terry, so Adam McKay did some important movies like, Vice, and what was the one about the banking crisis that I thought was excellent?
Big Short.
Big Short.
The Big Short, yeah.
Not the Mackey,
he
the
also
mortgage crisis.
mortgage,
the
banking,
financial
like,
crisis,
Yeah.
literally.
financial crisis. It ended up not being a banking crisis because that would have sunk the United States.
I knew people that were involved in that.
Well, we spoke to someone who was involved in that. David Sampson was working at J.P. Morgan at the time.
Yeah, no, but
Um,
I know people in Montreal that worked for this call center. Okay, it was a telemarketing company, but they would call people in the States and they'd refinance their mortgages with these crazy rates. These guys made so much money. So much money. Guys my age, I was 22 at the time. They're driving around in Range Rovers and stuff. It was crazy. They were making all this money, and then a bunch of them moved to California. A couple of them stayed, a couple of them came back, and the rest of them stayed over there. I don't know what they're doing, but obviously that whole business was shut down. The guy
Not
who
that.
ran it
I
passed
can
away.
tell you. I
What?
can tell you, they're not doing that anymore.
No,
They're
they're
not,
not. No, but they could
certified
still be
mortgage
mortgage brokers, but these guys aren't
Yeah.
refinancing people's. Anyway, so it was a whole scam, and these guys took a big chunk out of California. It's pretty
So
crazy.
I like a lot of Adam McKay's movies. So he did Step Brothers, right? So like,
Well,
you have
he
the
did
comedic-
all of them. He did Anchorman.
Yeah.
He did Talladega
Talladega
Nights,
Nights.
Step Brothers, Other Guys. He also did Ant-Man.
He's
I
also
don't know if you
like
know that one.
he's the well, Talladega Nights was the one that launched him into superstardom, but
Yeah.
he he was also like a legendary writer on SNL. Mike Schur tells a story. Mike Schur, a creator of Parks and Rec, wrote on The Office. He tells a story about starting at SNL, and after working with Adam McKay for like a couple days, was like, oh man, nothing I'm writing is funny compared to this guy.
Ego, can you give me a picture of his face? Sorry, while you're going, Ego, can you give me a picture of him? I want to see what he looks like.
Yeah, sure.
No worries.
But yeah,
and so-
he's yeah. But, oh,
So
sorry.
yeah,
go ahead.
and so basically, what everyone told Mike Schur was, "Oh, don't compare yourself to Adam McKay. That's a losing battle. That's comparing yourself to Jordan. That's comparing you." So like, it's cool to get someone who's that funny, who's writing things that are serious.
I know this guy. Okay.
But so I don't know if it's because I already have like a lot of information, and I've had a particular interest in global warming for a long time. So I don't know if like I'm just not the target audience, but I felt like the message was clear, but it wasn't particularly revelatory, and the movie itself was kind of, I don't know. That was my thoughts.
I'm a conspiracy theorist guy, so I think I would love this shit. You know, like I'm all into any conspiracy theory that makes a little bit of sense, and I'm a firm believer that the media is completely against humanity. I think they're against us, and I don't think they give us the information that we need to know.
I disagree because media and journalism have become the same thing, and they're not the same thing because
they're not the same thing.
Accurate information still exists.
Of course,
accurate
because
information still exists.
Of course, yeah. So you have to but you have to give out the accurate information. What I'm saying is that now the networks are only giving out the information they want to give, not the information
but you can't trust TV. You can't trust TV or social media for news. It's always been the case.
But you used to, like back in the day when everybody tuned in at 11 o'clock to watch the news with Brian Gumble. I don't know who the hell it was in the 60s. These people were giving out the these people were giving out the there's a weatherman, and he's still doing it now, so I don't think he was doing it 50 years ago.
Yeah, but what was Dan Rather saying about global warming? Nothing.
Piece of shit. You know what I mean?
I thought you
but that's
the
what
weather, bro.
They only tell you the information you want to know. I mean, CNN and Fox are notorious for doing that. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
When pressed, Tucker Carlson under oath said, "Well, we're not really a news network. We're a news entertainment network," and that's true of CNN. Like, they're both
of them.
They're
a
drama version of the Daily Show. But
of course, Anthony Bourdain had a show on CNN. Like, that's entertainment. It's not. You can't. It started as a news outlet. There's 100% sure. 100%. Yeah, they wanted to start off as a news outlet, but it turned into what people want to watch and what drives and money and advertisement. And if you're not giving the information that your demographic is looking for, then they're going to tune out. And that's what it's become. And it's sad. But it's sad only because people don't realize that there are other options out there where you can get all the facts instead of just this one fact about a major issue. And that's what people don't realize. Look everywhere. Look, just Google it, DuckDuckGo it, do whatever you want to do, all of it.
Yeah, I think also people need to be educated on what are appropriate sources and what are not appropriate sources, because that's another thing is I keep seeing people share stuff where it's like, this is the furthest thing from like any bit of journalistic integrity ever.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
But that's what that's the thing is, it's unfortunately, all this happened so quickly. Like society didn't adapt to teach people really. This is how you look for the information, you know. But anyway, so my point in this was for you, Terry, and I'll ask Eagle about the movie specifically. Have you ever that experience where nothing's wrong with the movie, but like it just didn't do it? Like it's just like it's fine if it's on and someone's watching it, I'll join in and have a beer, but I'm not excited for it to watch it again, you know?
Yeah, I mean, depends on the movie. It's very rare that a movie I'll watch it twice unless it was like really good. Like I go back and I watch old
Double
Tarantino
Impact.
movies.
I can watch that
Yeah,
50
like
times.
I'm gonna watch Once Upon a Time in America. I haven't seen that in like at least 20 years, so I'm gonna rewatch that, and that's like a 4-hour movie. So there's movies that I would rewatch. Like I've probably watched Friday Night Lights, Remember the Titans, Any Given Sunday over 100 times each, and that's not even an exaggeration.
I hate all sports movies. They're all terrible.
What the hell are we
They're
doing?
all so cheesy.
What are we
They're
doing?
the cheesiest thing.
They're
all underdog sports stories. They're all the same. Any given Sunday was quite good though.
Why would people want to watch a story about a guy who's supposed to win?
No, but because I want winners, Terry. I want winners.
Because like they were perfect. They didn't have any kind of challenges. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing came in their way. They just coasted all the way to the championship. What a
Terry,
story.
You say who would watch that? We watched 10 hours of Michael Jordan. That's what it was.
But there's conflict in that. Like the way that people are talking about him, how much of an asshole he was, how his finger
conflict.
Yeah, how his finger was pointing in the wrong direction. I always wondered, like, is he ever going to get it fixed? Like, why isn't he fixing it? You know?
But that's the thing. Eagle pointed out, it's all conflict created by the main character. They were mostly unnecessary.
Exactly. He's a piece of shit. But people also are drawn to assholes. People like nice guys finish last. People are drawn to pieces of shit. That's why people watch the Jersey Shore. That's why I was looking through my Crave the other day and I favorited Jersey Shore because I'm going to watch it. Because I'm stupid.
I've never seen a single moment of Jersey Shore.
Because I'm going to watch the Family Vacation. I'm going to have to 4 seasons of it. I'm going to have to do it. I just finished watching. I just got back onto Ray Donovan. He's a piece of shit. Shameless. Yeah. People talk about Frank Gallagher. He's the biggest asshole in the world, but people love him.
Also, McKay, Succession. All the characters, all pieces of shit.
And I've loved Shiv.
Yeah. Eagle.
There's something about Shiv. I'm going to write a song. There's something about Shiv.
I consider myself somewhat of an intellectual, which is probably an understatement. But I didn't find the movie necessarily funny as much as I found it frustrating and a sad depiction of reality, right? It was like
that's her.
That's how I picture the trailer.
It was so depressing to watch. Even though I know it's supposed to be a comedy, it was like, yes, this is clearly an exaggeration of what's happening, but also exactly what's happening. So that's the part.
But is it an exaggeration?
That's exactly it, though, right? That's where it's like, how much of this is like ha ha ha, and how much of this is, oh God, this is true. You know, I think that's where I was kind of coming from. So I enjoyed it. Obviously, there's the whole, I call it elitist thing of like, well, you're just making fun of the media and the political class and blah blah blah. But I can totally put myself in the shoes of an actual scientist going, I told you so, and look at all this stuff, and people going, well, did you really tell us? Like, is this really important? Oh, well, look, midterms are coming up. Can we deal with this later? Like that type of shit, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I mean,
for sure.
I feel the exact same way because when I just watched the trailer, right? And I felt the exact same way that Eagle felt. Like, you could see the comedy in it, but you can see, like, it's frustrating because they show Jennifer Lawrence, like, freaking out, like, and you're laughing at that. But then you realize like this is what we go through on a day basis, like where they're not just giving us all the information we need.
This is the thing that's happening that's going to ruin the next 20 years of our lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that said, we have a lot of sports stuff to get to. So let's get to it. Eagle, it is time for the news. Terry, it's the news. I almost forgot to say it because I was reading something at the same time. So obviously the first bit of news to break and things that actually happened since we've been together on Monday. Nathaniel Hackett, he's going to be the next head coach of the Denver Broncos. Of course, the conspiracy theorists are automatically linking it to the Denver Broncos. The Packers would have to trade him to the Broncos, which I think is not completely unlikely. I think this was more planned than we thought of as we talked about this throughout the whole thing, because looking at the cap structure and how the Packers are really going to be under it. I believe Eagle, it's 48 million over the cap next year, if I'm not mistaken.
Like, yeah, not as bad as the Saints, who I think are like 70 million, but still like we're awful. Yeah.
So basically, now I understand the drafting of Jordan Love, because it's one of two things is going to happen. It's we're going to rebuild it completely and time to move on from Aaron, or we're going to rebuild around an aging superstar and give him nothing to work with, so he wants to leave. And now I truly understand the conflict between the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. It's not about just wide receivers or the most obvious things. It's really just about, hey, you guys are planning for the future, and it's very clear I'm not part of those plans, and I'm still good enough to play in the NFL. It must be a very frustrating feeling.
I mean, what are you going to do when? What can you do when the person who literally owns you, it's weird to say, doesn't think you're adequate? Yeah. It sucks. Well, it's an awful feeling, but you're also professional and you got to fight through it. And
they're planning for the next 10 years, and like Aaron Rodgers' career is like the next 5, right? So, and
listen,
we saw with Brady and Belichick, right? Brady had Garoppolo traded. He went to Kraft and had him traded. So,
really, that's what it was.
It's been reported by Seth Wickersham in his book.
Yeah, from my understanding, it was basically they were planning for a succession, and Brady was just too good, and he's like, "Listen, if you want me to stay, I'll win you championships, but get rid of him because he's going to sit on the bench and do nothing, and he's not going to."
Yeah, Brady was Kendall Roy in this case, Terry.
Loser. No, but the thing is, Kendall Roy did what he had to do.
Yes, I agree. Look, he's a piece of shit, but I think I'm most no, because I'm Team Shiv. I'm with you, Terry. I'm Team Shiv. Fuck Kendall.
Yeah, Shiv is good, man. I mean, listen, Kendall had his heart's in the right place. His heart's in the right place, doing it for attention. Shiv, she's just like, I want my place in this world, and I'm smarter than most people in this world, so I want to be able to take advantage of that. Then you have the idiot Roman. That guy is the worst human being in the history of the world. There's nobody worse than Roman Roy.
Macaulay Culkin's brother.
Exactly. The guy who drinks Pepsi and Home Alone.
That said,
too much Pepsi.
So who's Aaron Rodgers in the Succession cast? He got cast out. So is it Kendall?
I think he's Aaron Rodgers. No, he's not Kendall. I think he's more of a Wamsgams.
Isn't Greg?
No, I think he's a Wamsgams guy. I think he's Tom. He's Tom.
Yeah. That could be. It could be.
Yeah. I like Tom. I mean, Tom at first he was kind of annoying, but I like Tom. Tom's a good character, and I kind of feel the same way about Aaron Rodgers. Kind of, he's weird. He does the wrong thing sometimes, but he's kind of like he's aware of everything going on, and people think that he's not aware, but he's aware. You know, like I think that's how I see Tom.
Immensely talented, but often puts his foot in his mouth, right? Like
exactly.
Like, he can do the job, but my God, does he make mistakes at times? And the handling of this perhaps is that as well. So do you think? I think he's moving on from the Packers. I think that the whole contract restructuring was part of this. Do you think it's the Broncos?
He's the type of guy that would go somewhere where he feels comfortable. He's the type of guy that's like loyal to specific people around him, kind of like the way Brady is. I'd say, that Broncos is a very strong possibility. The Niners isn't an option anymore. So that was like everybody's always Niners. Raiders, I don't think that the Raiders would go for Rodgers. I think they have way too much money to spend, to save. I don't think they'd be able to dump Carr and get Rodgers. So that's out of the nowhere.
Steelers is probably an option.
Steelers could be an option, but Steelers would be, I said Steelers at the beginning of the year. I said I wouldn't be surprised if I see Rodgers in Pittsburgh. If Big Ben retires.
If Colts could afford it, I think Colts would be a nice landing spot if they can.
No, Carson Wentz had a fantastic year. Carson Wentz is fine over there.
Then replace Tannehill with the Titans. Both the Colts and the Titans are shit at a quarterback position, in my opinion.
No one is choosing either Tannehill or Wentz over Aaron Rodgers for the next 2 to 3 years.
Sure, but I don't think that their needs are there. I think that Wentz and Tannehill do a good enough job for the way the rest of the roster is built. And if Rodgers comes in, it kind of changes everything.
Well, that's the point.
Yes, it makes them better. It makes both.
No,
teams
but both teams had
instantly
success
better.
this year. Both teams are successful. Like the Titans won their division. They finished first in the conference. The Colts were one game away from the playoffs, and they had like a lot of good. Like they have a good running game. They have a young receiving core. Like they look good for the future.
I get it.
Not
Terry,
saying that
Terry,
Rodgers wouldn't make it better.
I understand. You can have eggs, but you can also have bacon and eggs, right? So like breakfast can be better, quarterbacking can get better, and I think he makes them instantly better.
How many playoff wins? How many playoff wins does Aaron Rodgers have versus how many playoff wins does Carson Wentz have since Carson Wentz played in the NFL?
How many playoff wins are a quarterback stat versus an organizational stat?
No, but just to say, but that's what we're talking about here, right? Because you're saying you want the bacon and eggs, the eggs and the bacon. The bacon is the playoffs. The bacon is the extra juice that you can get me.
No,
if the Colts make the playoffs,
you're changing my analogy to. I think you're changing my analogy with your narrative.
I mean, that's what that's what a discussion is, no?
No,
isn't a discussion. I take whatever you say. I change it to the way I want it to sound, and then I say it out loud again. That's what it is, no?
That's a hijacking, I believe.
Okay, maybe that's why my girlfriend never understands me.
Yeah, you came at me with a box cutter, and you took the plane. That's what happened. So we'll see. I do think it's going to be AFC. I don't think there's a chance the Packers trade him in conference. 0% chance.
Yeah, that's another point too. So
the overpay would have to be ridiculous. Like you have to give all of your draft picks for a decade.
Yeah, it's going to be Pittsburgh or Denver, and I think Denver's the leader right now.
Yeah, I think so.
But I like Drew Lock. Make a trade.
Yeah, it'll take more than that though. But yes,
heads up, Lock for Rodgers.
The Chiefs and Bills, of course, gave us a great game, and there was a moment that we didn't know about because we did our post game show on Monday, and then the clip went viral after that about at the line Mahomes calling out, "Do it, Kels, do it," because they discussed in the huddle where Kelsey said, "Hey, if they give us that look again, run the same play, I'm going to go up the seam," and that's exactly what they did, and that's. I heard someone talk about this in comparison to, and I know we keep hammering on the Cowboys, and I'm not doing this on purpose, but like what it means to have like a prepared organization versus an organization or a team that's not prepared, like a properly coached versus like improperly coached, where they notice something, they implement it, they trust it, they go with it. There's, like what you do in those clutch moments, like that's just training preparation. That's what that is, right?
Yeah.
And there's not even a second thought. They talked about it. Mahomes saw it, threw the ball. It's on target. It's successful. That's the game. You know what I mean? And so
it's autopilot. You're on autopilot at that point.
It was pretty awesome. It was cool to see. It's rare that we get to sort of an inside look at this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But you
one of my favorite Mike moments was Cam Newton when he's at the goal line. I forgot what it was, and then the linebacker makes an adjustment. And then he's like, oh, you watch film, watch this, bang, makes the play, throws a touchdown. You know? So it's like I like that stuff. And so when I saw this, you kind of love like the little pieces. Like everybody loves like Mic'd Up. Like Mic'd Up was such a good segment on Sunday NFL Countdown because you got to hear guys like just like talk. You know, obviously they cut out a lot of the shit.
Most of it is without context, and it ends up being like just a montage of guys giving like cliches, you know what I mean? Like let's go, let's or like making it,
like making jokes about players on the team, which is what you want, right? Like hearing Ray Lewis yell is crazy. What?
I wish there was more of that and less of the stuff that adds no value to me.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jackson Mahomes.
Context. Sorry?
Like Jackson Mahomes gives no value.
There's also that. He may be dancing this week though as they take on the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm excited for this game. I know the smart money in games like this is always to take the under because the public likes to bet overs. You got to go over though, man, because the more I look at it, these two teams, the weaknesses favor the offenses so much.
Oh yeah.
And like the way the Chiefs defend sort of these trips and these stack formations is to leave one-on-one, which means the Bengals are going to be able to create one-on-one matchups with Jamar Chase whenever they want. And then the last time the Bengals played the Bills, the last time the Bengals played the Chiefs, they gave the same defensive look that the Bills gave the Chiefs last week, which allowed 1 billion points. So I don't understand how this is even going to be under 100 points combined. Like I don't think there's going to be a stop in this game.
I put this at under. I have 454.5. I think.
Well, that's the smart play. The real bettors will tell you when the entire public says the over, you have to go the over. I just don't understand. I can't even imagine how a stop happens in the game.
Yeah,
you know
I got the Bengals. I think the Bengals can pull this off. And I said it. We said it 2 weeks ago when we were talking about my hypothetical situation to if the Raiders and the Titans had tied. If the Raiders and the Titans had tied, my hypothetical 1-8, like if the Chiefs could have lost to the Bengals or the Chargers, like the Chiefs could have lost to the Raiders. Like I feel like the Chiefs could lose to everybody, but they're just not. You know what I mean? The way the Bengals are built, obviously their O-line is very weak.
Terrible.
But like
it's subpar.
They have some sort of flash that the Chiefs had when they won their Super Bowl run, and their offensive line was good, but it wasn't great. And the reason why they made it through is because they had a quarterback that had nothing to lose and just put it all on the line. Like I think that's what Joe Burrow is, and we're seeing it kind of play out again. And we're seeing like the like a really good era of football right now that we're going to see for the next 20 years. Yeah, with Jake Allen. Yeah, Jake Allen, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Jake Allen.
Jake Allen's a tremendous backup goaltender, though.
Tremendous, one of the best. Great era of backup goaltending. Jake Allen is like the king.
Doug Weight of this generation.
Exactly. He's like the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the attitude era towards a backup goalie era, you know? So Josh Allen, Mahomes, and, you know, we haven't seen what Jordan Love can do. Trey Lance. Like, there's a new crop of quarterbacks out there that are very excited.
I wouldn't go with Trey Lance, or I wouldn't go with guys I haven't
not
seen.
Yet. I'm just saying we haven't seen them yet. So that could be like
you could also be Mariota, so we don't know.
Yeah, but then they don't. But then they don't matter, right?
Yeah.
Then
But either way,
they don't matter.
Just in the AFC East, you know, you have two absolute monsters in Herbert and Mahomes, and I agree with you. To me, I don't know. I have a hard time picking against Mahomes at any point because, look, he's been in every season he's been the starter. He's gone to the AFC Championship.
Okay,
that's 4 straight. That's out of this world. I know it's not just him. It's just a well-coached team. It's great offensive weapons. It's also him. Now the offensive line is fixed because that was the issue last season when they lost in the Super Bowl. I don't see them stopping. I don't know. It's they look incredible. Maybe it's because it's the last thing we watched on Sunday, where it's just imprinted on my brain, and I'm that stupid I can't break from it.
No. I mean, listen, the Bengals are playing with house money, man. They've been like they're there because they're just an extremely talented team. But they're going up against, and Tyreek Hill said it, they're going up against 2 of the best coaches in the NFL right now, and they're on the same team. You know what I mean? Like Bieniemy and Reed, the duo that they have is really good, is really strong, and Andy Reid is. Like we talk about great coaches of all time, not really a lot of people talk about Andy Reid, and like he's evolved through the sport into in 2 or 3 different eras, styles of offenses, and he's still been successful. And I think that he's a big reason to why they have a lot of success. And their O-line looks good. They don't have any missing pieces, I will say.
And Andy Reid finally learned when to use your timeouts. So that was like literally the thing that played for years. And everybody joked, but he legitimately fixed that, right? Like,
he doesn't learn something new every day. You learn something new every day.
There was one point that was made. I couldn't find an actual clip, so I got to paraphrase. Mina Kimes was saying that of ESPN was saying that the main difference between the Bills defense and the Bengals defense is the Bills defense have like a speed rush, which doesn't phase Mahomes at all, whereas the Bengals do this sort of like gap rush because of their strong defensive ends and Hendrickson and the other dude, Hubbard. And so basically, because they can rush in stages, he can't do that little thing where he was escaping in the first quarter, where Mahomes is like escaping out of the pocket and running for 5 or 6 yards at a time. Apparently that won't be there because that's the one part of the scheme that's really different. So I'm actually excited to see, like, armed with that information, how the Chiefs are going to adapt to that on the fly, you know?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, she's great, Mina Kimes. Like she knows what she's talking about. Jeff Garcia went after her. Did you see this?
I
Because she
didn't.
made
Well, Jeff Garcia is an
yeah, he's a
interesting
little weird.
character in his retirement.
Yeah, so
Sorry,
no,
go
but
ahead.
I mean, I think his approach was off, completely off, and but I understood where he was coming from because when I watched the clip too, I kind of felt the same way. She was ripping Jimmy G. She was like saying like how Jimmy G is brutal and he shouldn't even be out there, and Keyshawn Johnson was defending him, and she's like he's the worst quarterback in the left in the playoffs, and Keyshawn Johnson's like, yeah, he's the worst of the top 4 teams in the league. Like, is that a bad thing?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But I mean, so like. When we talked about it on our post game show on Monday, he threw 3 or 4 balls to the flat that the Packers should have put him back to pick six.
Listen, nobody
floating ball with his back foot. Like
nobody's saying that Jimmy G is reinventing anything. You know,
no. We might even say he's uninventing offense.
So Jeff Garcia went after and he said he started saying he's like I don't understand Mina Kimes, like she's never even thrown a football, let alone played football. How can she talk like this? If these are experts, no. Like, I'll get the whole quote, man. I got to read this out.
But I honestly hate the "you never played football" argument because that means you can't learn something by studying something.
You can't think. Don't be thinking.
Yeah, so I hate that argument personally. Because honestly, I've heard enough from Jeff Garcia that I know that I'm not particularly interested in his analysis, and he played.
Ready for this?
Go ahead.
Who the hell is Mina Kimes? Just 1 sec, I can't see you anymore. This is awesome. Okay. Who the hell is Mina Kimes, and when is the last time she threw a touchdown pass in a game? Never, ever has she taken a snap or can truly understand the ability, the mindset, the physical and mental toughness that it takes to play the QB position or any position in the NFL. The fact that there are people out there that are given a platform to talk about something that they have never done is hilarious, and that's how you have to look at her. She's a joke, crying, laughing emoji. So let's just laugh at her and support Jimmy. Root on our Niners to go out and beat the living fuck out of one more team. That's what it takes. She will never know that feeling. Can I get an amen? Peace sign.
So it's bias versus studying tape. Because I forgot that he was a Niners quarterback, and that's why he's mad.
He's also
just biased.
No, he's a Niners broadcaster. He broadcasts the CBS Niners game, something like that.
Is he still on the air? I thought they yanked him.
Oh, I mean, maybe he's not there anymore, but yeah, from what I heard last, I think he was. Anyway, but so Jeff Garcia has a strong opinion. Oh no, I think he's coaching high school football or something.
Yeah, because he had made some comments.
I forgot what it was.
About,
what was it?
Gay people, I believe. It was a few years ago, and I thought he had lost the broadcasting gig.
Weirdo.
But I hate that argument because again, a lot of people can study something and learn it without having to perform the skill. You know, defense attorneys don't murder people, yet they defend murderers. So I guess it's a terrible analogy, but it is an analogy.
No, they defend the law that protects the civilian.
Yes. Well, but where were they when the law was written, Terry?
Yeah.
They never put their hand in the dirt.
How about this one? Food critiques can judge food, but don't necessarily cook well.
That's true.
Listen, I get there's a different nuance in like knowing the sport and cooking. I think is the only one. It's like I can't tell you. I mean, maybe. I mean, listen, I'm not I like to cook, but I'm not gonna go sit here and tell Peas how to make a beer or you should do this because I didn't do it. But if I had studied it and I had never done it and told Peas, hey, if you use this kind of wheat, you might get this kind of taste out of it. Is that bad?
No, but that's.
But you can also be like, I don't like this one because it's too flavorful, or it's not flavorful enough, or it's too fizzy, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah. Or you can study.
Or you can say, I had this other beer and it's really good, and here's why I like it, right? You don't need to know.
But it's more than just opinion. If you study something, you can then give an informed position on it, right?
Well, it's an informed opinion.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, like especially like when it comes to like the Pro Football Focus folks, for example, that's not informed opinion. Those are informed facts. Like they're based on statistical analysis, right? So,
whenever
an analyst is saying something, it's always opinion because that's the job.
Not only that, but like even PFF, like it's still technically an opinion because they're just gathering data that are factual. Like this data is factual.
The model is going to be biased towards something, right? And it's
exactly,
just a matter of did you pick the right thing to be biased towards?
Exactly, yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Fuck Eagle, man. You went right into my brain and you said that.
So yeah, I think again, much like last week, I think both games will be exciting. Looking forward to that. You'll get our thoughts on it on the Monday broadcast on our yet to be named post game show. We gotta name. I'm gonna send out a message to you guys tomorrow. Let's start naming the show and naming some of the segments we have planned coming moving forward.
Or if any of our viewers want to go ahead and give their suggestions, feel free to leave it in the comments below.
There you go.
We'll literally use the first one.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Also, I mean, we didn't talk about this.
We'll use that one.
We didn't talk. We haven't spoken about this, but where did he get the nerve to remove Alex the intern from Twitter?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Did he think he could promote himself?
Yeah, like, what is he all of a sudden not an intern? Like, does he all of a sudden not get me coffee? Like, and now that I think about it, I didn't have coffee today. So what's going on?
I'm going to change my Twitter to, P's Hot Sauce Sports, also Lord and Commander. I promoted myself to Lord and Commander.
I'm also going to promote myself and say, and maybe I'll change my Twitter handle to Alex is still an intern. That's going to be.
Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that.
Alex is still my intern. That's going to be my Twitter handle.
Forever intern.
I want to do that, but I'm scared I'm going to lose Terry Tam if I ever want to go back because I have Terry Tam. Like, it's how rare is it to get Terry Tam? There's a lot of Asians out there.
And there's a chief medical officer in Canada who would love to get.
She's Asian. She's Asian. I'm saying Tam is a very common Asian name. Like, I don't want to give it up. Even on Instagram when I had it, I don't have it anymore. It's Terry Tam 15. I couldn't find Terry Tam.
Yeah, so it's true. It's always scary. It's a scary proposition.
I'm not changing I'm not doing it. Maybe I'll change my name. Alex is still my intern. I'll do that. Yeah. That's what I'll do. I'm gonna do it right now.
James Harden. It's been reported James Harden wants out of Brooklyn. Here is the clip where Kendrick Perkins is talking about that. Courtesy of the All the Smoke podcast.
Tell you straight. This is real life. This is not rumors. Okay, no matter how much he may try to deny it. I think Philly want to win. I know they're not going to win a championship unless they make a big move. Mm-hmm. But I think they're thinking more so about next season. I'm going to just give you hints and you can figure it out. But James Harden didn't sign his contract extension. Mm-hmm. All right? He didn't sign it. He was supposed to sign it. He was supposed to go KD, Kyrie, James Harden. Didn't happen. All right? So he didn't sign it. Now, James Harden camp is telling people in Philly, we want to come play with Embiid next year. This ain't no lie, this facts. But then he telling the Brooklyn Nets, the ownership group different. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
You drop a park bomb?
Yeah, somewhat. And I ain't told nobody this shit, but this is happening in real life. Yeah, you goddamn right, I gotta get.
I like that show, actually. It's a very good show.
Oh, it's excellent. It's excellent.
Yeah, very good show. It's I haven't watched too many of the I Am Athletes. It depends on the person that they're interviewing there, but like I saw the Johnny Manziel one, so like I saw a couple of those, but this one is good. It's a good show. Well, listen, James Harden's smart for doing this. He's playing Brooklyn against the rest, and if he says that, if he's like, listen, Philly might be an option, that's actually a nice thing they can do right there. Like they can do something.
Daryl Morey has. He's now in Philadelphia. He was the GM of the Rockets when Harden was there. They have a relationship. Embiid is basically. I feel like
they had a falling out at the end, though.
No, not really. He asked to be traded. I don't know. It's hard to pretend to know what happens inside the walls, right? Like I got the impression he just asked to be traded and then was traded, and so everyone kind of got what they wanted. But the thing with Perkins is someone whose analysis I don't particularly enjoy, but he's usually right when it comes to these kinds of things because he's still very plugged in with the players community.
He has hard opinions. He falls hard in his opinions, but he's usually right.
Yeah. Again, his basketball analysis is very dated and is not relevant to today's game at all.
Yeah, he doesn't understand that the big man really doesn't have a role. He wouldn't have a role in today's basketball. He doesn't realize that.
He didn't have a role in those Celtics, Terry.
He did. He had a couple of good games. He had like 2-3 good seasons, I think. Like good season. He made an All-Star one year.
He was okay. He
He's
was
all right.
okay.
He's
He was a
smart.
more muscular Greg Ostertag.
Is he the Paul Bizanet of basketball?
Yes,
There
that's
you
not
go.
bad. That's actually
That's a
not
good.
bad.
But
That's a good comp.
both
That's a good
successful in their own right, media wise. Both on major networks broadcasting the sport. I don't know if Kendrick Perkins has his own podcast. Like Chicklets is the #1 podcast.
No, he's on ESPN, so he was on The Jump when The Jump was actually a really good show, and now it's I forget what it's called, but it's Kendrick Perkins is the main dude now.
And Biz only played 6 years in the NHL. Like, he wasn't really successful. Didn't win in a Stanley Cup or anything. But anyway, yeah, I think that's a pretty good comparison. Next.
Well, so the thing this got me thinking was, if Philadelphia is the move, is this finally the Ben Simmons trade? Because now the money works, the fit works for Ben Simmons. He gets Durant and Kyrie, maybe if he ever plays again. He gets the ability to pass to two great shooters, and that team gets defense. And then Harden has a more compatible style with Embiid. Embiid's playing out of his mind. He probably should be the MVP this season, yet the 76ers are fledgling because he's doing it all by himself, right? So I think that's actually a move. I never considered it once, but that's a move that actually makes sense.
Yeah, I like this. I like this. I like that a lot. I think that would be it. We always mention, I think everybody was always talking about, like, who can Embiid play with. I think this is perfect.
Yeah, he needs a guy who wants to stand on the outside and shoot. And
I'm surprised that nobody
Harden,
really. I don't think Harden was ever an option. Like, nobody ever really mentioned Harden. Everybody always said the Lakers or Golden State Warriors.
He pushed to go to the Nets, right? So you don't think he's leaving, right? So
and I think
like,
I even said, I'm like, well, Harden, I don't think he's leaving. He just got there. Like, I think I even said that. So, like, this is really out of fucking left field. And good on Harden.
Apparently,
this is good.
On Twitter, there was on the Athletics Twitter, there was also a link saying that the main reasons is that Harden finds the taxes expensive in New York, yes, and he finds living in Brooklyn cold in winter, also yes.
But Philadelphia,
I don't know how that helps. Yeah, but
is this guy an idiot? He's literally an hour away from where.
But that said,
all the respect I had for him gone, finished.
When you look at Brooklyn, though, like when you look at the Nets, does that look like a fun place to be? Like, it just looks miserable. Like KD always looks grumpy. There's the whole thing with Kyrie of not he never plays.
The stadium's dark.
The stadium's dark, yeah.
It's grungy.
So at least you go to Philadelphia and you're going to be playing winning basketball immediately, right? So it's fun to go to work when you're winning, right?
Yeah,
that's Philly has also been a pretty terrible organization, and the fans are rough too. So I don't know. Maybe it's just trading one problem for another, but we'll see how that all shapes out. The other thing that broke this week, of course, was the big news that predictably Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens are not going to the Baseball Hall of Fame
this year.
No, they're off the ballot.
Oh,
they have to wait till they get promoted by the Veterans Committee. Basically, they have to wait till old writers die.
Wow, I didn't know that. I knew there was a deadline.
What's interesting
that's ridiculous.
What's interesting is that it used to be 15 years. It used to be 15 years, and it got changed to 10. The reason why was they changed a whole bunch of rules when former Miami Herald writer and now co-owner of Meadowlark Media, Dan Le Batard, sold his vote to Deadspin back in the day.
Oh.
So they got really pissed off at that. They took away his vote, but also they changed the rules and made it so that instead of 15 years on the ballot, it was 10. So he may have inadvertently cost them the vote that he was protesting, not voting for steroid guys.
Yeah.
But that
might have cost them that. Yeah.
Valid steroid guys, right?
Wow, crazy spin zone. Crazy full circle jerk right there.
Yeah, I read that. I read that this week, and I was like, "Oh man, that's pretty awful." The thing I was looking at Barry Bonds' stats, and his OPS in his last season before he got blackballed was still 1.2, which is insane.
He has three. There's a 3 season.
Sorry.
I was gonna say there was a 3 season gap where he had like, I think he had like he was batting a percent on base 94% of the time.
Yeah,
he was walked intentionally with bases loaded 20 times in his career.
I was gonna say on more than one occasion.
Yeah,
that's not only that. There was
one time I saw they were up. One time I saw they were up by 2 runs and they walked him.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He walked 1,000 more times than he struck out in his career.
Yeah.
First of all, that's insanity.
Yeah.
Secondly, 46% of his at bats ended with a home run or a walk. That's insane. Half of the time, you're either getting the 2 most valuable things in the game.
Also, like, we need to thank Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Rafael Palmeiro, Mark McGuire, Roger Clemens, Mike Piazza, Jose Canseco. We need to thank all these guys because if not for them, we wouldn't be watching baseball today.
Well, and especially like the whole that whole summer, the greatest summer of all time, right?
Greatest.
Where it was that first. Mark
Is there
McGuire,
a 30 for 30
Sosa
on it? Because I would definitely watch that. There has to be.
I'm not sure. But the thing is,
there has to be one.
What's interesting is a lot of those guys who voted to keep those guys out got their jobs or kept their jobs because those guys saved the sport in 1999. You know what I mean? So like the same guys who benefited and Major League Baseball who benefited from these guys getting juiced, they are the ones keeping them out.
And they're all like, now they're wagging their old fucking idiot fingers doing missionary position. Like, get over yourselves, guys. Like, I don't understand. And we haven't spoken about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is that David Ortiz got popped for steroids and he's in. How did he get in? Where's the double standard here? Because, first of all, Red Sox fans can suck my ass.
Dude, Alex
Red Sox
Rodriguez
fans are
is
the biggest
broadcasting
babies of all
games.
time.
Alex Rodriguez is broadcasting games and they're giving him like a Manning cast.
It's crazy.
And he served the longest ever suspension for steroids.
Because he said
for steroids.
Because he said I did it.
So is that it? Is it? Well, but the thing is, Barry Bonds goes to jail if he says he did it because he perjured himself. So he can't say it. You can't hold that against him.
Exactly. I mean, there's no real proof. I mean, his head grew 3 fucking hat sizes,
But who cares about the proof?
He married a stripper from Montreal.
He did? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I read his book. Love Me, Hate Me. Great book. I was the only idiot on the island of Mykonos reading a Barry Bonds book.
I loved Bonds when I was young. He did turn out to be kind of a jerk, but I mean that doesn't really bother me if the dude can play. The thing is, like, he's the best baseball player I've ever seen. Period. Secondly, he's at worst the 3rd greatest hitter of all time.
A-Rod to me is like watching A-Rod. No, Vladimir Guerrero, A-Rod. We're talking about him.
They're all fighting for second after Bonds, dude. Plain and simple.
Bonds is good. I mean, listen, there's been Jim Edmonds was a highlight reel. I mean, not that he's the best player ever. Ichiro.
I'm saying that they legitimately kept someone out who has an argument to be like a top 3 hitter of all time.
Cool.
You know what I mean? Like, his record still stands. There's no asterisks. His record is the home run record.
73,
right? So, no, well, 73 and total home runs, which is 730 or 777.
No, he didn't. He didn't pass Hank Aaron.
He passed Hank Aaron. Yeah,
he's not number 1.
He is. Eagle. Please look it up.
Do I have to?
I'll look it up.
Yes.
I'll look it up
because I feel like an idiot if I'm wrong.
Either of us can look it up because Terry has to do an ad read because we're about to go rapid fire.
Yes, indeed. We're going to rapid fire. And Terry, who is bringing us rapid fire today?
Rapid fire is brought to you by Hot Streak Fantasy. Visit Hot Streak Fantasy on iOS only. Android, fuck off. iOS only. You go to Hot Streak Fantasy. Use the promo code Hot Sauce. You deposit any amount up to $1,000. They'll match it. They'll give it to you as a bonus on your account. Use the promo code Hot Sauce to get that. Hot Streak Fantasy. It's the best in-play fantasy app. You can play 5 guys at a time. You can play 3 guys at a time. Whatever your fantasy is. You pick steals, assists. That's for basketball. For hockey, for baseball, it's fun. It's every at bat. For football, it's pregame Pre-game lines, in-play lines. It's unbelievable, and you're getting your money instantly. So in-play, it's the best in-play fantasy app on the market. Hot Streak Fantasy on iOS. Hot Sauce promo code. They'll match your deposit with a bonus. They'll match your bonus as a deposit and your deposit as a bonus as well. Deposit your bonuses while you're at it.
All right, it is time for rapid fire.
All right, we have 6 of them for today. We're going to start off with Son of the Devil. The Arizona Coyotes are looking to share a facility with ASU as a stopgap measure, as they're potentially going to get kicked out of their current arena. This would potentially limit their total attendance to about 5,000 people, including 16 lodges that would be available.
What are the schools?
ASU, Arizona State University.
ASU, Arizona State.
Have you ever been to their? Is this what sport? Sorry.
Hockey. The Coyotes.
Oh, for hockey.
Coyotes.
Ooh.
The NHL Coyotes.
I misunderstood that question. I thought it was 2 schools merging. No, because you were cutting out at one point. I don't know. I think something's wrong with my wire, so I thought it was 2 schools merging.
The Coyotes are looking to share the facility with Arizona State University, one of the biggest party schools in America. So there is that.
Okay. I mean, listen, I don't think they were getting more than 5,000 people in their stands anyway. So,
but isn't the knock against moving a team to Quebec that the stadium is too small?
Yeah, because you can't. Also the dollar to advertising. You don't make as much money in Canada as you would in the States.
You can't sell lodges. There's only 16 of them.
Yeah, only. There's more lodges than seats in that fucking place. Arizona State actually has a good hockey program, you would think.
Well, so what's interesting is the Coyotes, as I believe it's the Coyotes, as a measure to try and get the community more into hockey, they invested a lot in youth hockey in the state of Arizona. It's also just not part of the culture, so that's going to take a lot of time.
You know who's from Arizona?
Team success.
Sorry, who's from Arizona?
Lots of people. I believe Wiley E. Coyote.
Wally the Coyote is potentially from New Mexico, but Austin Matthews is from Arizona.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're literally waiting for his contract to be finished so they can sign him. That's basically what Arizona is hoping for. Because as soon as they sign Austin Matthews, they're going to fill up that place every night, every single night. Arizonans are so loyal to other Arizonans, it's crazy. And he's one of the best scorers in the league. Top 3.
Arizona Annie is a comic book character who apparently is from Arizona. One of her partnerships is with Kid Colt, and she's an expert at armed combat. So,
unless she's partnered up with Hot Streak Fantasy like us, I couldn't care less.
Next, Antonio Brown may be pursuing a lawsuit against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they suggested he go get counseling. The lawsuit's currently priced at around $200,000.
Listen, first of all, did you see his lawyer?
I didn't, actually.
So you have to watch this video, okay? This guy looks like he is the wannabe version of of Better Call Saul. This is what this guy looks like. His suit was oversized suit. Okay, he looks kind of like a cheap version of Nick Wright. You know Nick Wright?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, he looks like a cheap version of that guy. Okay, and Antonio Brown looked like he was hypnotized. Antonio Brown was just frozen on camera with a smile on like this.
So
not moving. It was really scary.
Because I also heard Antonio Brown on Brandon Marshall podcast. You mentioned it before. The name's not coming to me. I Am Athlete. There we go. Excellent. Actually, really good interview.
Yeah.
Brandon Marshall carried it though. He did most of the work. But
Antonio Brown's a lot of things. Articulate isn't one of them.
Well, because here's the thing. I think he's been legit blazed ever since he walked up the field.
Why wouldn't he be?
He sounded like he was so high. I know this is reckless. I have no way of knowing this, but he was slurring his words. He sounded like I sound after 9 p.m. on from Thursday to Sunday night. And the thing is, he was. What's interesting is Brandon Marshall was making better points for him than he was. And a lot of this is he's just a bad messenger and a lot of stuff, and he reacts to things in a lot of times the worst way possible. Brandon Marshall was saying he had the same thing where Ricky Williams was telling him, we all agree with you, but you can't just blow up at your coaches. You can't just blow up on the sidelines. it's not going to work. It's going to cost you money, right? And that's Brandon Marshall's having experienced that, trying to convey that to Antonio Brown, and they started arguing about like the definition of like disruptive.
He's an idiot. Antonio Brown, no matter what you say, he's going to tell you why he's wrong, why he's right. No matter what you say. So it's a waste of breath. It's a waste of words. You know, like Donald Trump says you have a limited amount of heartbeats in your life. That's why he doesn't work out. I think that you have a limited amount of breaths, and Antonio Brown is too dumb for me to waste a breath on trying to convince him to change. He's an idiot.
Don't you have less heartbeats though if you don't work out?
No, because when you work out, you get more heartbeats, right? So you only have like 1,000. You don't want to use them all in that one workout, you know?
Yeah, but if you live 20 less years, you have a lot less heartbeats, I promise you.
But that's what he's saying. He's like, you only have a certain amount of heartbeats. So he's like, if I slow down my heart rate, that's why he talks so slow. And if he slows down his heart rate, obviously he drinks a lot of Coke as well. So maybe his heart rate's balanced out that way. But anyway, he's going to live until he's 100 anyway. Who cares?
Yeah.
When Donald Trump dies, the world will explode.
I guess.
The internet will, 100%.
The internet will. So the less than 3% that the internet represents will explode.
The metaverse, baby.
There we go. I'm legitimately worried you're going to buy my house in the metaverse.
I am.
It's bothering me. I've told 100%. My wife we kind of have to buy it.
Did you hear that Biden is trying to regulate Bitcoin? Hey, are you a terrorist?
Banks will absolutely force a regulation of Bitcoin within the next 10 years.
Are you you a terrorist?
It's 100% coming. It's all.
I know
it's not just. It's going to be worldwide regulation in 10 years.
I'm telling you. Piece of shit.
Banks will not let it happen.
They're all fucking assholes.
All right, speaking of not letting things happen.
Yeah, we're all losing.
Stinging suspension. ECHL player Jacob Panetta has been suspended for making racially insensitive gestures, he pretended to be a monkey, towards Jordan Subban, a player of color, while on the ice, while in a little scrap. Many in the crowd were also shouting racial slurs. My understanding is he is eligible to return following some type of committee thing at the end of the season, something like that, but basically he's out for the rest of the year.
So this kid Panetta, he what's his first name?
Jacob. I thought the same thing.
Jacob.
Yeah, we're on the same page. Okay. And I'm like, I know he doesn't.
It's also that it's Jordan Subban, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So like
So it made it really difficult to type.
I'm like, also he's not. I know he doesn't play hockey. I played football against him like this year, touch football. I don't think any hockey players are playing touch football in Kirkland. No. Anyway, so good dude. So the thing is that this player says that it's something that he does commonly to everybody, and he even sent video of him doing it to a guy that's white. He sent a video of him doing it too. So I get that you want to defend yourself to say you're not racist. I believe you. You're not racist. But you made a stupid moment. You made a stupid move in a time where everything is scrutinized no matter what you do. So you fucked up. You need to suffer the consequences. The fact that I don't think you're a racist, and I think a lot of people are like, I don't think he's racist. I think he just made a stupid mistake. You have some support there, so just keep it that way. If you try to defend yourself and send a video of every time you did this to somebody, like you're a fucking idiot. Yeah, you're just giving people evidence to hate you. And I understand what he's trying to do. He's a young kid. He's trying to fix it. But at the end of the day, you need to know exactly what you're doing at all times. At all times.
Just apologize and don't do it. And it's done. And just serve your suspension and then come back and earn your money. That's all you got to do. That's all it is. Exactly. I remember when one of these conversations came up, formerly ESPN's, now HBO's Bomani Jones said something to the effect of, it doesn't matter if the person's racist. The action is the action, right? So like, if the action is inappropriate, just change it. If you're not racist, just change it. If it bothers somebody, it can't be that important to you. Just don't do it. Give the finger. The finger is universal.
Yeah.
It's fuck you to everybody.
Everybody. And also, if you're a Friends fan, you know. You ever see that? Yeah.
All right.
Ego, what's the other one?
I can't remember anymore. There's something like this, right? Yeah, exactly. I can't remember what.
I can't get my elbows to touch.
Who dat? New Orleans Saints coach Sean Payton has decided to step away from the team. He is reportedly exploring both media and coaching opportunities.
As soon as he said this, everybody's like, Cowboys. And I'm like, yeah, Cowboys.
The McCarthy clock is ticking.
McCarthy clock is definitely taking it. And I think this is perfect because he said, I'm stepping away, right? He didn't say, like, I'm actually retiring. So, like, stepping away is like, I'll take a year off see what the shit show that happens in Dallas. I'll come in there. If me and Dak kick it, I'll have him for 1 or 2 years, and then we'll see from there. If we don't like him, then I only have him for 1 or 2 years, and then I'll ship him away. Yeah. So I think it's perfect for Sean Payton to come into the Dallas Cowboys in 2023 and win a Super Bowl. It's perfect.
I instantly thought of two things. The first one, Terry, do you know the story about Jerry Jones, Sean Payton, and the bottle of wine?
No, I know that he told Sean Payton we're going to fire Bill Parcells, and then he never did. And then Sean Payton went to New Orleans, and then they ended up firing Bill Parcells after.
Yeah, I know.
Which is weird.
So apparently they have a really good relationship. And after winning the Super Bowl that summer, he was at this steakhouse, and he knew that Jerry Jones was going there the next night, and he had this like super expensive bottle shipped to the restaurant that he was going to have. Somehow Sean Payton convinces the restaurant to give him the bottle. He drank it and left a note saying, maybe next time, Super Bowl champs, New Orleans Saints.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought that was such an awesome story. I hadn't remembered it until this all happened. And I was like, I got to know if Terry knows this story because it's awesome. The other thing was, I feel bad for Kevin James because he portrayed Sean Payton in the movie about Bountygate by Adam Sandler. So poor guy is now portraying an out-of-work coach, and it's less relevant. That's right. All of those words are true things.
There's a movie about Bountygate?
It looks terrible. It's Sean Payton leaves after Bountygate and goes and coach a kid's team. It's an Adam Sandler movie featuring Kevin James as Sean Payton.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, all of those things are true. I'm not making this up. I would have Eagle verified, but he's doing rapid fire. I'll send it.
What network would not hire somebody like this? Isn't funny.
It looks so terrible.
I'm pretty sure Sandler had a deal with Netflix for like 7 or 8 movies, so it's probably just thrown in there with one of them.
Holy shit, that's a swing and a miss. I'll tell you that. Swing and a miss.
I'm sending it in the chat.
It is called Home Team. It's an upcoming American sports comedy directed by Charles and Danielle Kinney and written by Chris Toney and Keith Bloom. Inspired by actual events, it is Kevin James that does it, and it also features Rob Schneider, Jackie Sandler, and Tate Bloom. It looks terrible.
Of course it's terrible.
And it's produced by Adam Sandler. Classic.
How did Adam Sandler make himself out to be the sexy guy?
And it's coming on Netflix tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow it's going to be out. You can watch it.
I can't wait. I will not be sober when watching it. I got to give Adam Sandler credit. He keeps giving money to his friends. So that's awesome.
Adam Sandler has made a lot of people's careers. Like Rob Schneider is a guy who he's super talented, and he would have been one of those guys who didn't get the respect he deserved, and he got it because of Adam Sandler. And then he ended up doing Shallow Hal and Deuce Bigalow and all that stuff. And Rob Schneider
Kevin James is not talented, and he also got saved by Adam Sandler.
Well, Kevin James didn't get saved. Kevin James was successful in his own right before, right?
Yeah, King of Queens and shit, did a bunch of stuff.
King of Queens was like #1 for a long time. Like Kevin James was still good. Like Paul Blart isn't an Adam Sandler movie.
He got him into the Paul Blart sphere.
What do you know? Paul Blart isn't an Adam Sandler movie. What do you know about what?
It is an Adam Sandler movie.
When you think of it is, I don't know that. You think Kevin James? When you think of Kevin James, what do you think about?
I literally think of Adam Sandler.
I think of King of Queens, and I think of that stupid MMA movie.
To be fair, I've never seen a second of King of Queens.
It's actually very good. It actually is.
It is. Like, I mean, listen.
Really?
Yeah. What's his name? Frank Costanza's in it, man. He's hilarious.
All right, cool. To me, it always looked like a typical Netflix sitcom, and I'm like,
great show.
Jerry Stiller,
it's a very good show.
Who's you're referring to?
Jerry Stiller.
Yeah, Jerry Stiller. And also, the reason why it's a good show is because they get divorced in the show, and then the show still goes on. Like there's a lot of things about that show that people don't realize how good it is, and like the friends and like the whole thing. It's a good movie. They've that that little guy. I always forget his name. Patton Oswalt. He's hilarious. He's in that show. Great show.
All right, next. Rubbers Me the Wrong Way. Hugs will be discouraged at the upcoming Beijing Winter Olympics, but as per tradition, condoms will be distributed to all the participants because when you have that many sexy athletes all together with a whole bunch of testosterone and estrogen buildup, you're going to have some good babies coming out of that, so wrap your willies.
when I go to like Europe, the sizes are different over there. Like an XL over there isn't an XL. I'm an XL here, like double XL if I'm a little pudgy, if I'm a little bloated, or if I want to like a loose shirt. Like this is an XL. Okay, on me. And so like when I go to Europe, I know that I have to get like a little bit bigger if I want to buy clothes. That's why I never buy clothes in anywhere else other than North America. But like in China, the clothes sizes must be so small compared to like. So what are the condom sizes like?
So
Like
so
are
my
they
dad
are they getting like Magnum? Are Magnums over there just like regular Durexes here?
Magnum's there is like getting a size 5 Jordans, because Jordans already run small. So, but yeah, the thing is, like, my dad used to go to China twice a year, and he would come back with clothes all the time, and it was just it was a shit show. Like, you didn't know if they were gonna fit you or not, right?
Yeah.
And so I've since that time lost almost 60 pounds, and I have a 6XL sweater that is still too tight on me. So the sizes, I don't. I feel like the sizes there are just random. I think that the athletes got to do though, if you want to really respect sort of the guidelines, and you want to use the condoms, you cut a hole in the sheet and have sex like ghosts. That's the only way to do it.
The only way.
Spooky ass sex.
Sex with ghosts. If you could feel anything, that'd be great. If like, okay, yeah, pick one ghost to have sex with. Who would it be?
Ooh, Casper's too nice.
Well, also
Casper's
guy.
too nice.
Also guy.
Yeah, whatever. Sex positive in the show.
Wait,
right?
are we talking about an actual
maybe-
like ghost or a deceased person and the ghost of them?
I'm thinking
I
of
was
a
gonna
deceased
go with-
person.
Let's
I'm
go with
thinking
pop
about
culture
anybody.
ghost, just so that like we're not actually having sex with dead people.
The only person I can think about in my head is Jessica Rabbit. Like I feel like if she's a ghost, she's the sexiest ghost ever.
But
Like,
she didn't die.
but she could. She's not. I mean, she's. I guess she's not dead because she's a cartoon. But
But
like,
even in cartoon form, she didn't die.
I know that's what I'm saying. But like, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point. So who would it be? Who's dead?
Was Patrick Swayze the ghost in Ghost, or was it the girl? I think it was Swayze, huh? Yeah,
Patrick
so it
Swayze was
Swayze,
the ghost.
yeah.
So yeah. So Demi Moore.
And I just maybe I'm
Bruce
hetero
Willis is on the
with
list,
living-
huh? Die Hard.
Maybe, that's the thing. Maybe I'm a hetero with living people, but gay
Isn't
ghosts.
Isn't Whoopi Goldberg a ghost in that? And Ghost also, she won like an award. She won a Grammy, an Emmy, an Oscar for that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think Whoopi Goldberg won an Oscar for that.
Oh, the chick from The Ring, does that count? Because like she looks like she's a demon.
But that, I mean, I don't know if they're ghosts. Are they considered ghosts? What about the girl from the house on Haunted Hill?
Who would have thought having sex with ghosts is so difficult?
It's the girl. I would pick the girl from the show You Love. She plays on the House of Hill Haunting or something. It's a show. It's a horror TV show. It's on Netflix. She's a ghost in that movie. That's her.
Yes, as long as she doesn't do her stupid shocked face. Whenever she's shocked,
Her
her
teeth are
face
so
disfigures. Yeah, but she's
So
a beautiful
weird.
woman. Beautiful woman.
She is. She is.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, I go with that ghost or Patrick Swayze. Either way.
Or sex positive Casper.
Exactly. Sex positive. Well, again, too nice. I like him with a bit of an edge. I like my ghost with a bit of an edge.
our last topic for today, the Doomsday Heist. Investigations have been launched into apparently drug cartels using Grand Theft Auto Online to recruit and train drug runners by having them run heists in the actual online version of the game.
I feel slighted.
Yeah.
You know how many drug runs me and Duke have gone on? Where's my reward? Where are you at, cartels? Where are you at? Your boy's here. He's out here. He's delivering all the drugs. He's running guns. He has a front set up with the arcade. He's got a front set up with the nightclub. I got all them DLCs. Where are you at? I'm very disappointed.
What's the furthest you've ever driven for drugs?
Oh, in real life?
Yeah.
Huntsick. My dealer was in Huntsick.
Like a
So
10
not
minute,
far.
a 10-minute drive.
It ended up being, because this is from before I started working where I work now, it ended up being a 7-minute walk from where I work.
So mine was, it happened last week. I drove half an hour to Oka to get weed because I'm not allowed to go to the SQDC and buy because I'm not triple vaxxed.
I don't think that's in effect yet.
Yeah, they said.
It's in effect, yeah, but you don't need all 3. You just need 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Well, it's
Oh.
2 until the 31st, I believe.
Oh, I thought it
Also,
was
you can order
January
online.
8th. I thought January 18th
18th
was
was
triple
the-
vax.
18th was just Vax Pass.
Okay. Well, whatever. Anyway, I went to Oka. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you can also order online and they bring it to you.
Yeah, but like, what am I gonna do? I can get it in 30 minutes, or I can wait 2 days.
Yeah. Or just at that point, you could have come to my house. I have so much.
I mean, there's that too.
Anyway,
but whatever. You live further than Oka.
I don't live further than Oka.
It would be
By a
45
little
minutes to get to you. 45 minutes to
Yeah.
get to you.
That's true. That's true.
I'm on the 13. I'm
I get-
close. That far.
Get the 25 pass, bro, and then
I
you're
have
good.
I have
So that's it for this week. You now know how long it takes Terry to get to my house. Glad that was sponsored. Thank you, Eagle, for everything you've done. Thank you, Hot Streak, for being the greatest sponsor ever with the most fun product we've ever got to experience. Terry, thank you for all the work you've done today. Thank you for all who have registered. Not registered. For those who have followed, liked, and subscribed to our podcast, please continue to do so. But most of all, thank you all for letting me be myself. I was swallowing a bird throughout the end.